Welcome to Fox Netball. It's round 2 in Suncorp Super Netball. The Melbourne Vixens hosting the Adelaide Thunderbirds right here in Melbourne at John Cain Arena. Both with round 1 victories under their belt, the Vixens boast a formidable winning record on this very court, but the defending champions won their grand final here last year, and I think they find it just as favourable. I'm Bianca Chatfield, and alongside me in commentary for tonight's game, we have Madison Brown and Emily Beaton. Maddie, to start off, let's take a look at the Woolworths team cards. The teams aren't quite out yet, but let's take a look at the cards.
Well, both teams are starting off exactly the same way they did last week. And you obviously look at T-Birds here. Aiken George in goal shooter, through Horges, Williams and Wilson in that mid-court, and then Garrett and Sterling Humphreys in that defence. They were so good at getting gained ball. We heard Georgie Hoyer just say we need to capitalise on all of those opportunities whenever they get them.
The Thunderbirds, so much depth. It's when Tanya Obbs probably can, which string she pulls at what time to really get this team firing. Round 1, great start. Then they started to taper a little bit. They relied heavily on their defence end.
They absolutely did, and we didn't even see a Lucy Austin, and we've seen her absolutely power in obviously the 2-point time. So I reckon maybe seeing a bit of that change. I wouldn't even mind seeing a bit of a Georgie Horges at goal attack as well, a little bit more movement. They've got so many options, but it's about when they play those moves at critical moments to make sure that they can capitalise the most and put that scoreboard pressure on the Vixens.
As you see, the Melbourne Vixens running out onto their home court here at John Cain Arena. Their starting lineup, we look at the Woolworths team cards, Garvin and Austin, formidable duo for the Diamonds as well. Now the Melbourne Vixens. Zara Walters getting to play in her second game, debuted last week. Maloney, Kate Eddy at wing defence. And the Vixens have opted for Emily Mannix and Rudy Alice. Emily Mannix in the Nessa Midpoint team of the week with her performance at goal defence. And of course, Jo Weston, you've got her on the bench.
Yeah, she's not a bad backup there. And we obviously heard Coach McInnes say, you know, those two that are starting, they earned the right to those bibs this week, but they've got the strength of Weston coming off the bench. So it'll be interesting to see when they utilise her at what moment.
Netball Victoria celebrating Heritage Round. So the Vixens wearing the Phoenix and Kestrels. Of course, the two clubs that Netball Victoria had in the elite competition before they were formed. The Melbourne Vixens, and Sherelle McMahon will be joining us at half-time. But all the action on the court right now. The ball in the hands of Kate Maloney, the captain of the Vixens. Austin, steady as the Vixens just take their time.
Great defence already there by the Thunderbirds. Latanya Wilson getting her hands on it early, but just side-to-side play there for the Vixens, not being able to get any depth.
Walters in her second game for the Vixens. Do you feel more pressure in the first or the second?
The second. People have already watched the footage. They know where to exploit. You see that wayward pass there by Austin. Just a little bit too much on it. But Harvey Norman replay there. Latanya Wilson, she's so good closing speed, so watch that tonight.
Garrett and Austin, Diamonds teammates, keep an eye on that tussle. And Aiken George, recruited to the Adelaide Thunderbirds this season.
Great pick up there. She's so experienced, such a focal point down that goal circle and through. Great to see her slot her first one in because there was a little bit of nerves early on last week.
Williams to Garrett. Mannix putting the pressure on through early.
Nice easy one in there to Frew. Working it really close to the post, and I think that's what you got to do. Just ease them in. I spoke about this from the Vixens, and already they've picked up their first rebound, defensive rebound.
Rudy Ellis, 190 centimetres. Can challenge 196 centimetre Aiken George. Thunderbirds sitting back in defence. Walters charges through, not enough on the pass.
It's coming down quite frantically at the moment. Take a deep breath, there's plenty of options, but the pace on this game already coming in hot.
Williams launches it high. Aiken George steps in. looks so comfortable in that goal shooter position for the Thunderbirds.
Absolutely, and it's that quick release from the feeders. Side her, see her, like, let it go. Put that thread on.
Austin flips it off to Garvin. And Sophie Garvin, her first. Eddie sagging back in defence. Vixens working hard to cause the error.
Such a tight one-on-one pressure. Obviously, Taylor Williams just a little bit light on the hands there. Just, as I said, that body was wearing her from Maloney. Nice transition here by the Vixens. Straight to circle edge, exactly where they want it.
Simone McInnes, Diet Honey, the coaching staff for the Melbourne Vixens. Comes up short for Kira Austin. The Thunderbirds get another opportunity. Kira Austin says, I'm going to steal that one right back.
She's so good in attack, but isn't she exceptional also in defence? You can definitely count on the goal attack bid when Kira Austin's got it on for a couple of deflections and intercepts.
Austin, second attempt. She makes this one count. Look at this Harvey Norman replay.
Just not a lot on it. It was a great option to go long. Just need a little bit of extra height and push on the pass.
Mannix for the centre pass. Garvin trying to dictate play. There's bodies falling down. Walters is up.
Both playing that really tight one-on-one pressure, playing on that body. Just, as I said, just a bit of the pace or intensity. Just take a deep breath. Might just allow these passes to go through a little bit easier.
Walters flicks it to Garvin across to Austin. The movement in the Vixen circle is hard to contain. Aiken-George splits to get extra distance.
And that's Rudy Alice has to try and grab those opportunities. Aiken-George missed 9 goals last week, but got every single rebound. So if the Vixens can just get a couple there.
Walters resets through Eddie. Penalty called. Swings to Maloney. The Vixens really trying to keep the ball down low.
And smart, because we know how good Sterling Humphries is in the air, so make sure you keep it down nice and low.
Strong take, Aiken-George. She wants it back through, left on her own. Just the timing on the pass, not quick enough. Williams looks for through on the baseline. They go high. Huge step in from Aiken-George. She almost loses her balance.
Yeah. But it's making sure that scoreboard keeps ticking over.
One thing I'm loving, girls, from the Adelaide Thunderbirds is the way they are turning and siding the goal circle so quick. Mads, I think you spoke about it before, but we're trained in wing attacks. Get the ball, look at your goalies, and it moves those defenders off.
Just threatening down court, making sure you look down. Can you go straight there, or just straight away turn at the shoulders? It's also great that you see Frew hanging out a little bit wide, allowing that isolation of Aiken-George underneath the post with Alice. But they've got to release it early and capitalise on having that one-on-one.
Scores are even here at John Cain Arena. Just over 6 minutes played in the first. Strong play from Walters. Such depth on that second phase.
Oh, I was going to say that drive to the top of the circle by Walters and also the pinpoint pass by Austin. That one goes a little bit wayward for Porges. Eddie getting a bit of a hand on it, which is good.
Penalty being set. Porges lifts it high. No hesitation in going high for the Thunderbirds. Almost the opposite. Down in the Vixens attack. Another miss from Aiken-George. This time, Maloney with the rebound. You don't often say that.
Timing here for the Vixens really good. They've got one option, then another. One's going deep, one's punching forward. And using that middle channel, like it's unstoppable, really hard to stop in defence when they're powering through so strong.
Austin in round 1. Dominant on centre pass receives. It's clearly a set play for the Vixens. Continues to dominate that early on in this game. Garvin looks to go across, has to go behind. Maloney short to Austin.
That patience on that feed from Maloney, just waiting that 2.75 to then release, showing faith in the goalers to come through.
Talk about that vision just to look in, but that vision to also watch where the defender is. Aiken George just knocked on the shot from Alice, but she makes it count. 5 for Aiken George. Vixens out by 2. Garvin swings to Walters. Austin uses that baseline so smartly.
She does. She knows when to sweep, when to punch down along the baseline, and it's her timing. They really obviously split the defenders apart.
Maloney shocked by the call. Thunderbirds down by 3.
We even mentioned it at the top, obviously, the penalty count for the Vixens last week, 22 in the first quarter. McKenna said, obviously, an area that they need to improve. They want to obviously put that intensity and that pressure out there, but you've got to do it cleanly to actually build, obviously, that pressure, as I said, on the opposition.
Wilson had her hand up, ready and waiting. Garrett and the Thunderbirds patiently trying to work their way down. Can they go forward? Look at that Harvey Norman replay. Brilliant positioning from Latanya Wilson.
Vixen's getting a nice little pick up here. Time to potentially push out the lead.
Too high, too much on it from Walters.
And any mid-quarter would know that pocket feed is really hard, especially when there's nearly 4 players and their hands to actually go over. The feed has to be really pinpoint, Em, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. And just quickly with the Thunderbirds with this turnover here, this is what they spoke about, needing to capitalise on turnovers. I'm really interested to see this play down court. The Vixens are doing a brilliant job of holding them up.
That's a stat we will keep our eye on for the entire game. Through. Can she sink it? That's her second.
We've got Lucy Austin just warming up on the side here as well, guys.
Keep an eye on when Aussie will be injected into the game. Wasn't until the 3rd quarter in round 1. An embarrassment of riches that Tanya Obst has on her bench. We are in the Power 5. Last 5 minutes of every quarter, the Suncorp Super Shot is in play.
And I think that's really smart to have, obviously, Austin there. She's a 2-point specialist, even though she can also own that one as well. We also see some experience there coming on. Sherian straight into the mix for Williams. So maybe this is a feeding choice. Great to see the bench, and I love to see strategically how both coaches play it.
Sherian moved from the sunny coast. Lightning thought she might have to retire, wanted another opportunity. The Thunderbirds gave it to her. 108 games of experience in Super Netball, only matched by her opposing centre right now in Kate Maloney. The 2 most experienced players out on court. Kira Austin sinks her first 2. Through. Can't get it to Austin because Mannix is in front.
Just a bit too short on that feed. Just needed to lift it a little bit higher up above Austin's head. Probably a good choice for her to try for the 1, but she probably needed to get a little bit closer, get that confidence, and then she can work her way out.
Emily Mannix with that intercept as the Vixens fly down. Walters so quick, hands, vision. Certainly not playing like it's only her second game. Wilson trying to put all the pressure on Walters. Welcome to Suncorp Super Netball. Maloney. Again, Walters. Both Vixen shooters. They're sitting outside the circle.
Great use of the ball there by Walters. Moving, shifting the defence off and finding Garvin right there.
Austin. Vixen struggling to find that. They find it through Garvin for two. Oh! Rejected. What a huge moment for Shamira Sterling-Humphrey.
I mean, we see her do it every single week, but how hard is it to get that timing on that release? But we see Austin slot through another two.
Brilliant form from Kira Austin. 2 Suncorp super shots already. Vixens with the last 3. They're leading by 5. Will it be 4? Have a look at this Harvey Norman replay. Timed it to perfection, Sterling-Humphrey. Garvin. Steady. Maloney tries to find an option forward, goes back.
Trying to get into that middle channel right now, going, it's so much harder to feed from the pocket, especially with the long levers of Sterling-Humphrey and Garrett. Work the ball short.
And you can see now the hesitation on the shot. If Sterling-Humphrey is in front of either shooter, they're very mindful about what happens next.
Bit of miscommunication there in the circle there, but they come up with the goods, Thunderbirds.
A win for the Thunderbirds. What can they do? Sherian across to Frew. Great positioning from Austin, but too much on the pass.
She just came off the hold a little bit early there. The ball was put out strong, but Wilson!
Wilson trying to get on with it quickly. There's 4 goals in it. Gorgeous. They eventually find Austin. This is for 1. Look at the replay there as Wilson, again, just knew that was happening. If we look at our missed net points, powered by E-Power, no surprises Sterling-Humphrey and Wilson sit at the top. But Zara Walters, 28 missing net points so far.
Both teams are having some general play turnover, but I think it's caused by the pressure in defence and that body. Oh, long pass there by Austin. Doesn't get through, but the time is running out, so it's a good option.
What a game we have on our hands, the Melbourne Vixens. They're 3 goals in front of the Adelaide Thunderbirds here at John Cain Arena. Don't go anywhere, we've got plenty of action still to come.
Welcome back to John Cain Arena, where I've just been listening into the Thunderbirds huddle and they have made some big changes. Georgie Horges is moving into goal attack and they've asked her to drive hard. Romelda Aiken-George to post up so they can start dominating that circle. Mads, what have you heard?
Well, there's some really great changes there, and I don't think the Vixens are ready for it. They obviously spoke about footwork in defence, obviously with Alice making sure she contests. Going to be a different circle in there with Horges. They also spoke about their transition. They want a short option, still the decoy long, but make sure that they continue to keep it low to make sure Sterling-Humphrey is well and truly kept to the side.
That's quarter time, brought to you by Origin Energy. What fascinating insights into both sides. The Adelaide Thunderbirds, remember, they won the grand final here last year. Shamira Sterling-Humphrey, pivotal in that grand final, has been pivotal in the resurgence of the Adelaide Thunderbirds.
I mean, I love this change by Tanya Obbs. This is probably the most experienced lineup the Thunderbirds can have out there, obviously with the Sherian and even Aiken-George in there. So it's great to see them utilising it.
Tanya Obbs there. She looks a bit stressed, but...
Yeah, but Brew can just see it from a different sideline, assess what's going on, and then maybe be injected later on. But I'm interested to see what this attacking lineup can do.
Garvin and Garrett line up on the transverse line. Diamond's teammates. Not tonight, though. Walters receives the ball in the save. Sterling Humphrey, her footwork.
Didn't even stay on side there. Amazing. She caught it up at the transverse line and started down at the post. Have a look at this Harvey Norman replay. It was lifted in the air, and didn't she come through?
You see the focus and intent on her face. We need to do something. And with a click of the fingers, she's off. Imagine having that talent.
Closing speed, amazing. And great to see once again the Thunderbirds capitalise on that turnover.
Now 1 goal in it, very early on in the second quarter. Garvin, cross to Walters. Tried to lift it over Sterling Humphrey. You probably don't want to try that too many times.
That's where I'd love to see that swing from the pocket right to the top between the mid-quarters to just open up a different avenue to post.
The old triangle.
Yes. Triangles in the circle for the goalers and triangles on the outside for the middies.
Garvin can't pull it out of the air. You get the feeling the Thunderbirds are on a mission here. Maloney stands out, contact call. Williams through Sherry, and they try and move on quickly. Hoare just lifts it high. Goes for the easy option. And Aitken George for her 10th. Williams again tries to go high. It's just making it.
It's just that one pass too soon, just to get a little bit more depth, then look long.
Maloney. Again, the resets. Both teams happy to use the reset. Walters getting all sorts of attention from Latanya Wilson, making her work very hard for position on the edge of the circle.
Lots of movement by Austin and Garvin in the circle, having to use the mid-court on the outside just to try and find a little way in.
Strong drive. Walk one way, finds Maloney in the middle.
That's twice now Maloney's found herself quite isolated and alone on the top of the circle. Thunderbirds need to address that, shut them wide, try and force them to the sidelines, take away that middle channel.
Gorgeous. It's a big win for the Vixens. It's a contact call against Laura Sherian.
She tried to do the quick give and go, and I reckon why she got caught is because that ball wasn't actually released. It had to be released by Williams. Maybe she wouldn't have got caught for that burrowing.
Austin drops it down. Sterling Humphrey gets it in the air, gets it down low. You would think that would be a safe spot.
Yeah, she's got the low, she's got the medium, and she's got the high covered. Give up, guys, don't worry about it.
Sterling Humphrey sitting on 55 miss and net points, 2 intercepts, 4 deflections, and all of that with only 5 penalties. That's the most impressive part of her game.
Absolutely. As I said, it's that applied pressure, but also being, you know, within play, being disciplined.
Austin working hard. You can see she's having to shoulder a lot of physicality. Takes the Vixens out by 2. Gorgeous. Finds the space at the top. Aitken George not comfortable. Alice with the strong defensive pressure over the shot of Horges. The Thunderbirds, though, still in possession.
Long arms from Alice and Mannix there in that circle. But Horges, nice to get that first one done on the board.
Vixens out by 1. Williams tried to screen off Austin behind play. Austin charged straight through.
This is where the Vixens are getting a little bit caught, because they get in the circle and they're starting to run circles. It'd be great to see Austin maybe time it a little bit better, stay out, or even get in and sweep to the other side, just to create a little bit more movement back and forth, rather than just being contained, because Garrett and Sterling Humphrey don't have to go far to even find the goalers.
Loving Georgie Horges' work at goal attack at the moment, guys. She is the absolute playmaker down there for the Thunderbirds. She's still playing a wing attack role. She's taking the centre pass. She's directing play, and the way she turns her body to sight her fellow goaler is absolutely beautiful. She's cutting Emily Mannix apart at the moment.
It's even that height difference, Mannix and Horges. It's hard to play on someone who's zippy and got a little bit more dynamic or a bit more agile.
Certainly changes up the game for Emily Mannix to have to adjust. This is where the rolling substitutions bring a whole new dimension to Super Netball. Not just one game plan will work. Oh, Sherian goes long. Alice flew out. Just missed it, but the Thunderbirds through Horges. So dogged in her attack.
And here's Simone McInnes yelling out, post, post, post. She knows exactly where it's going. She's like, protects that close spot.
And when Horges is swinging out, they're allowing, you know, the double defence on Aiken George. It gets harder and harder to get it there, but they're managing to find the space.
And that's probably that movement that she's creating, those opportunities, and knowing that she's so hot with the hand as well when she's got it. Compared to Fruit, it just comes with time in the game and that intensity and knowing the moment to put on the brakes and maybe work with a bit more time, or obviously put on the burners and absolutely punch through hard.
The two captains in the centre position. Hannah Petty for the Thunderbirds, Kate Maloney for the Vixens.
McInnes spoke to Alice about that at the quarter-time break, coming around the body and using the correct hand. She said, maybe just shift your feet off, like just give it a couple of inches in between you and the body. So it's good to see her trying to make an adjustment.
Rudy Alice moved to the Vixens from the West Coast feeder last season. She was a training partner with the Vixens, a training partner with the Swifts, then went to the Firebirds. She certainly had a journey to get herself to the Vixens.
Garber with an offensive contact there.
Petty. Hands over, pressure. Smothering her vision. The Thunderbirds back into the middle of the court. Sherian. You can see Aiken George with her hand in the air. Double defended. She wants it.
Mannix should have gobbled that one up. It was low.
In the end, smart play from the Thunderbirds. The score is even, 20 apiece. Just over 6.5 minutes in the second. Oh, the layup. Aiken George. The confidence is up.
It was a high pass there by Petty. It put her a little bit off guard because it wasn't quite in the right spot. See on the Harvey Norman replay, Alice contested. She goes up, a little bit too much on it. Lucky to pull that penalty, I think.
I know you're not allowed to, but you could almost dunk that.
Goal attack contact in line with me.
Quick transition for the Thunderbirds. Garrett doing a huge amount of work in attack. Again, front position, much better from Aiken George.
Oh, quick hands by Horges. She waited out. She's now come in. She isolated the one-on-one and then the quick 1-2 between them. Unbelievable. Look at those missing net points. Sterling Humphrey, no surprise there, 55 leading the way. And Horges bringing herself up there. Only one Vixen in the mix, which is Maloney.
We have a HCF tactical timeout. It has been called by the Melbourne Vixens. We're going to take a listen into their coach, Simone McInnes.
She's shorten it up, like when we get that give and go, and we're on the angles and keep having the go, but make sure we've got ball side and angle to the ball, strong to the ball. A little bit stationary, so get on the move, baby, big ball. When we've got that give and go, here we go.
And we can come on and off the surface.
On that second phase, she's holding you to that was up the screen. Don't give her the body, come off and come off and come off it. There's a really good mix-up. You mix it up really well there. Contesting on it. Don't get too often though where you're caught on the Melbourne or outside. So don't leave her too much.
I need to do more work on her.
But beware that we're coming into
Line up on this centre pass in team. When we get ball, we're going to score. We push this out there. Have a go. Next on three. 1, 2, 3.
It was great chat there. I mean, we're looking at obviously the past players. It's Heritage Round. Drummerman is there in amongst the crowd somewhere, but really good insight into the Vixens huddle there, talking about trying to manage, saying a little bit extra work there on Porges, but it's going to be harder. Wouldn't mind to see Weston maybe out there because she's so good at that one-on-one.
Simone McInnes didn't give me much about how much Jo Weston is allowed to play. Let's listen into what Em heard from the Thunderbirds.
Yeah, really interesting there. All quarter I've heard Tanya asking her players to get through when they have a turnover. But at the moment they're doing a long ball out. She's asking her players to do a give and go, a double play.
We even heard that in the Vixens camp as well. Keep it short, go again. Early workload. A lot of them are just waiting and then trying to run onto it.
Similar game plans. Garrett came up with another wing, broke through the Vixens. And now Horges, she wants to take the penalty.
Get a bit of range because we're into the Power 5.
Power 5, Suncorp are donating $100 to the Confident Girls Foundation for every super shot that is sunk in tonight's game and every game this season. We'll keep a tally. So far, $200.
Horges goes for the super shot, but not to be. Aiken can't come up with those rebounds. Alice doing such a good job in boxing her out.
Eddie. Looked like a step. I don't know if she got away with that one. Austin.
There's two people in the boxes there. Exciting changes happening.
Some massive changes here. We've got Lucy Austin coming on at goal shooter for the Thunderbirds, and Jo Weston steps foot on court for the first time in 2024.
It's an exciting thing for Vixens fans, I think. And not surprised because Georgie Horges has, as you said, had run of the mill in the attack end. Weston's so good at shutting down. She's going to have to come on and play a bit of a tagging role.
Thunderbirds out by 3. Austin. Oh, Wilson sneaks her hand in cross court. Lucy Austin down the other end. In goal shooter for the Thunderbirds. Horges to Austin. These two have grown up playing together for South Australia in the juniors. We had nationals last week, and that is where these combinations are built. Petty lifts it again, high.
And this is the future of the Thunderbirds, really, these youngsters. It's not only nationals to unearth some young talents within your state, but also to see where they might end up in different clubs, different teams, obviously, within SSN.
Sherian out to Horges, flicks it through, but Alice, great footwork to get in front.
It's that hold again for me with Austin. It's just getting that front foot around and holding. Seeing Tanya Obbs in the coaching box talking about the hands, the tap. She's got to be strong. She's got to stand up tall and maybe just hold it a split second longer so that ball can be elevated into a bit more space.
Yeah, man, she was just asking Lucy to put her hands up so the umpires can see where that chop is coming from.
Not happy.
Keep an eye on that. Vixens out by, Thunderbirds out by 4. Maloney. They're trying to avoid going over, but safely finds Austin. For 2, Kira Austin. Her third, Suncorp, super shot already.
They needed that, the Vixens. They were struggling to get close.
We've seen it many times, the super shot being used, getting teams back into games, winning games, right in the dying seconds. Austin really held on to it for a long time, lucky to get the penalty. Garvin.
She's in the zone, but no, passes it off.
It was a double defence from the Thunderbirds. Now they've just got Sterling Humphrey. Enough to put off the shot, but Garvin, smart, rebound. Gorgeous. Out of play, so Weston to take the throw in. The Vixens crowd absolutely loving seeing her back on court. Eddie goes forward. Walters cuts open the sideline.
Oh, that's great transition there by the youngster. The 1-2, the give and go. Austin coming out, heading straight back to post. That's how the Vixens need to play against this Thunderbirds defence. Keep it low and short, but keep punching through and working. Let the ball do the talk rather than thinking that you have to be body move doing all the movement.
Austin for Suncorp super shots. Thank you very much.
Thunderbirds winning the quarter by 7 and now only winning the quarter by 1. It shows how quickly teams can come back in it.
Vixens out by 2. Just over 10 seconds. What can Austin do? Sherian. Petty. They're running out of time. Can they? It's a short pass call. The rule's been updated. And you get the feeling the Thunderbirds will be disappointed they couldn't make that opportunity count. It is a 2-goal lead to the Melbourne Vixens. What a second quarter that was. The Thunderbirds ended up winning that second quarter, but down by 2 as we go into the halftime break. We have our halftime show coming up for you. We've got netball legend Sherelle McMahon joining us. But just before we get to that, let's check out what the team at Woolworths have been up to in preparation for the season.
The Woolworths Pick Fresh, Play Fresh game is back.
Drum roll, please.
To play along at home and win some fantastic prizes, scan the code and head to the Pick Fresh, Play Fresh hub. Giants! This game is called Which Food Am I?
So the first one goes on top of things. Cherry.
Straight away!
The next one is, it goes in a salad, sometimes with like rocket.
Similar colour to an apple.
High five, good girl. Okay, this one, you can roast it or you can mash it.
It's the same colour as a carrot.
Ooh, it's my favourite vegetable, sweet potato.
Me too!
You have inspired me for dinner. Well done, guys.
Welcome back to John Cain Arena. It's the Melbourne Vixens. You can see them in their change rooms right now. They're leading the Adelaide Thunderbirds by 2, but the lead did chop and change a lot into that second quarter. Netball Victoria are celebrating their heritage round tonight, and we thought, Maddie, when we're thinking about the player that we should bring down to chat to at halftime, of course, it's Sherelle McMahon, the legend of Australian netball and also netball here in Victoria. She's got her own statue out the front here at John Cain Arena. Sherelle, thank you for joining us. Firstly, Heritage Round, you've been here with all the former teammates who are Guard of Honour. How important is it to be able to celebrate the history of Phoenix and Kestrels?
Oh, I think it's incredibly important, and I think all of us who were involved back in those days were so incredibly lucky. It was a different world than what it is now, but we learnt from amazing, strong, independent women, and I think, that's really led us in the rest of our lives too.
Yeah, I mean, catching up with your friends, obviously, we know what you guys are like, a little bit rowdy. You're lucky they put you out the back so you can't hear you well. But is it nice to obviously reminisce, because you guys won 5 premierships. You were very successful in 10 years.
Yeah, we were so lucky with the success that we had, and we were able to build on a really amazing culture and environment that we had that led us to that success. And, there's some amazing photos there. I've got the jacket here with me today that the girls put on my statue every time they come through, and they take stupid photos every time they're with the statue. But look, it's so much fun. We've got such an amazing, beautiful connection. We care for each other deeply about what happened on court, but now it's just so nice to see everyone and see what they're doing in their lives now.
And when we take everyone back, I think it was 2008 when Melbourne Vixens was formed. It was Melbourne Kestrels, which Maddie was a part of, and Melbourne Phoenix, which you and I were a part of, all coming together. It's like Carlton and Collingwood, right? Trying to come together and play as one club. You were captain of the Vixens in that first year. Tell me what it was like.
Well, it was tough. I mean, we pulled together from those two teams, and it was tough to pull those two cultures
you, Maddie,
together.
in the
Oh my goodness, don't. I look like a witch's hat. Stop it. Stop it. The orange was not my colour back then. It still isn't.
Oh, look, I mean, the orange was great. I mean, purple was probably better, but that's just another story. But it was a challenge in that first year. We had so many talented athletes, but it was challenging to pull it together from those two worlds. So it took us a bit of time, and it was the next year that we pulled off that premiership, which was pretty cool.
And tonight, I mean, Adelaide and Victoria have always had a strong rivalry. It's quite fitting that tonight's game is what it is. I mean, you see the Vixens players out there. What strikes you? What are you so proud about seeing, obviously, that legacy of Phoenix and Kestrels live on through the Vixens?
Well, there's so many great rivalries across this competition. This is a strong one. Adelaide and Melbourne, of course, it always has been. I just love seeing what these players are doing, and I think it's built on, you know, the history and the past. I mean, it goes beyond the Vixens and the Phoenix also, earlier than that. But, you know, I see what they're doing. I see the world that they live in at the moment, and I'm super proud to have, you know, been involved back in those days, and to see what they're doing is really cool. The Vixens, geez, they did well in that last couple of minutes because they were in a bit of a hole, weren't they?
What do you make? I mean, Sherelle, you're a shooter. What do you make of the Thunderbirds defenders? How would you have gone up against Sterling Humphrey?
I'm pretty happy that I'm up in the stands, to be completely honest. But I think the Vixens have got a really intent on keeping that ball out of the air, playing it around, being nice and patient. And I think the Thunderbirds defenders got on top for a while there. So to be in the lead, I think the Vixens should be really happy with that.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Sherelle. We'll let you go and enjoy the rest of the game. It is the Vixens by 2. We will have the second half coming up shortly. And one player taking the court tomorrow for the New South Wales Swifts is their captain, Maddie Proud. We were able to mic her up recently to get her insights during a game. Tune in to Pivot tomorrow night to take a listen.
Hey, mate. Enjoy. Yeah. Paige, you can swing.
Ball, please.
Now, that last one, I'm like being her into you, but you're yelling at me, get off. I'm passing it to you so we can sag, and then we can be. I think because what's been happening for us lately is like we're too far away, so I think we actually need to be on it. And I think what we did was right.
With me, with you?
Yeah.
Okay, ready? With me!
With you!
Welcome back to John Cain Arena. You're watching Fox Netball. We have the Melbourne Vixens up against the Adelaide Thunderbirds. It's a 2-goal lead to the Melbourne Vixens, but it certainly hasn't been all their way in the first half. The defending champions are finding ways to come around from the Melbourne Vixens attack. I'm Bianca Chapman, and joining me in commentary is Maddie Brown. What did you make of that first half?
Oh, there were so many momentum shifts, and it was about owning, I guess, those opportunities when they got it. Both teams fell in a few little slumps, but I'm interested to hear what this coach has to say about it.
And you talk about coaches. Tanya Obbs from the Adelaide Thunderbirds is joining us. Tanya, firstly, it's very loud in here. I understand that you probably can't hear me, but can you take me through what you made of the first half?
Yeah, some ebbs and flows, wasn't there? I thought, you know, everyone was sort of, a bit of cat and mouse, sort of having a bit of a look, you know, some mistakes that you wouldn't normally see, but I was pleased with the way we came back in the second quarter.
Tanya, you got 11 games already, and you had 19 at the end of last week's game. Are you happy with how the attack end is capitalising on it?
Look, our three-quarter attack is actually really good. It's probably where we need to tighten up a little bit is in our centre pass. So, yes, to answer that question.
And, I mean, you've got Sterling Humphrey there. She's getting a plenty hand on ball. How do you think, obviously, that defensive can get more turnover to get a bit more scoreboard pressure on there?
You know, well, what? I think we're actually getting the ball now. It's about, you know, continue to score off of that, but obviously be a little bit more clinical on our centre pass.
And Tanya, one more from me. What are you watching to make those changes? Are you looking at stats, or do you just get a feel of the game and see where you need to put something in?
Yeah, a little bit of both. Bianca, I think, you know, we got a little bit stagnant across our transverse line initially. But yeah, probably a bit of both.
Well, you've been very generous with your time. Thank you so much for joining us, Tanya.
Thank you.
We always see that iPad down below where you can see both coaches and coaching staff looking at the stats on the screen. Always fascinated to know what they're actually looking at and what is the really important ones for each side.
Well, she talked about the centre pass, and they're only sitting at 54%, and most teams would be aiming for a 75 minimum. So definitely an area for them to work on.
And just in time of that interview happened, the Thunderbirds have evened the scoreline. Walters resetting. Wilson is really putting a lot of pressure down on this defence end. It's a three-pronged attack from the defenders of the Thunderbirds. Austin almost pulls off another intercept for an attacker.
You can also see the Vixens going back to obviously Mannix and Alice, whether that's, as you said, that time. But you can see Joe Weston on the side on the bike trying to keep warm.
Nothing says old age being on a bike.
Or a calf injury.
Sorry, Joe.
Something interesting that happened at half-time, guys, was that Lucy Austin and Hannah Petty went over to the umpires and had a chat for a good couple of minutes. We spoke before the break about the chop happening on Lucy Austin's arms, and they wanted to make the umpires aware. So it'll be interesting if she comes back on, what they think of Ellis and if she gets a few more penalties.
And just while that was happening, the umpires were keeping a very close eye on Sterling Humphrey. A contact call, you rarely see it up so high on the transverse line. But Garvin certainly makes it count. Have a look at this. Trying to prevent Austin getting out for the Thunderbirds centre pass. There's a bit in this game. We talk about the tradition and history. The Melbourne Vixens up against the Adelaide Thunderbirds. On this court, the Vixens have won the last 4 encounters, but at Team Girls Cup, the Thunderbirds were convincing up in Queensland. The Harvey and Norman replay. Eddie not balanced on the pass, and Garrett makes her pay.
And it's doing the work off the ball for the attackers, not just trying to have a sprinting race. You've got to put in those prelim works and try and catch it uncontested.
Hodges has certainly settled in at goal attack. That's 7 from 8 in regular time. There's a lot of calls happening, Maddie, now. The umpires are really involved in this game.
They are, and I think, you know, we saw obviously the change between Weston and Mannix. I do think it's really good play by Hodges, trying to cause that penalty up high to try and exploit it and get that one-on-one down low. But yeah, it's just, I think, you know, as I said, the intensity of this game is being played at a high pace. So, you know, being a bit more clinical, being a little bit more, obviously, disciplined, working off the body. We also see Joey Weston already there with that goal defence mid. Not surprised, Mannix has been caught a few times.
Walters. Cross to Garvin. Mannix.
Vixens are so good when they go through the middle. When they get to the sideline, that's where they're getting a little bit caught off guard. But Sterling Humphrey with a rebound, and Kay Maloney trying to get a deflection back.
It's the urgency from the Thunderbirds to pounce. And Sherry, you can just hear bodies hitting the ground. The physicality is in this game. Have a look at Alice and Aitken-George. A smart settler from Aitken-George. That's her 19th. She's shooting at 90%. Sherry lifted high, but she's not there. And Alice starting to get some more wins.
She did really well to confuse the space there for Sherian. Starting in front, but then doing that roll off to the back space. Once again, Maloney all on her own on the circle edge. Are they wanting her to feed more? Because obviously Walters did a lot of the load last week.
Such an experienced campaigner, Kate Maloney. You can see there the Vixens on the sideline, trying to get in through. They break open through Garvin. Scores are even here at John Cain Arena. Unfortunate for Matilda Garrett, because that was a smart play to have a crack at the feed from Walters. Instead, it was a contact, and look at this. That's smart play from a defender to avoid the contest in the circle.
Another change down the defence end for the Vixens. Mannix going off, changing bibs, coming on in that goalkeeper position.
Petty, quick to Horges, back over the top to Aitken George.
Do you think this is McInnes going back to experience because this combination know each other, or, you know, just trying to see what this combination can do? Because she said she hasn't seen Western a lot, obviously, of late at this intensity.
Yes, it's interesting for me to see that. Simone McInnes last week did not make any changes. Tanya Obbs last week put every player on the court. So potentially playing with some depth, giving some players some different opportunities. Petty. Looks up high, two-handed pass in.
Much better feed there. Really placed it opposite to where the defender was, or Mannix was.
And Horges sinks it for one, the shortest player in that defensive circle.
Guys, I've been so impressed with this Vixens attack line. It's hard to believe that Zara Walters is in her second game. When they move with intent, with speed, that's not a great example.
Put the mozzie on her, man. Put the mozzie on her.
But when they are in full flight, there is nothing better. And that connection with Garvin at the back, it's beautiful to watch.
It's real clinical Vixens when you see them moving the ball short and sharp. It's low, plenty of options, timing's on. The Thunderbirds have made them a bit uncomfortable at times.
Just over 7 minutes 20 to play in the third, and it's the Thunderbirds out by 1. Really hard to break open. Teams are struggling to build more than a couple of goals on the score. Horges protected by Aitken George. Let's have a look at our Nissan net points. Powered by E-Power. Sterling Humphrey up the top, but Georgie Horges, that goal attack position really suits her. Maloney, quick 1-2 with Garvin. Has to go again, this time through Austin. Comes up short, Sterling Humphrey almost just takes her time casually to gather the rebound.
Construction goal attack.
They did the work, Vixens. They forced them all to the sideline. Crowd not so happy with it, but
just releases that pressure the minute that penalty happens. Petty, cross court. Horges to the top, finds Sherian somehow over the top of Eddie.
The defense of Mannix and Western, it's that, you know, pulley system. One's going forward, one's going back. They're watching that sweep come through. Their changes, obviously, just to know where each other's going to be. It's really starting to obviously put that down into the feeders' minds for the Thunderbirds.
Both Western and Mannix, experienced campaigners. This combination, 9 seasons together, and many times have they faced Aitken George. Not in the pink, but for the Queensland Firebirds and the New South Wales Swifts last season. Austin. Straight away it looks to Garvin. Maloney through the penalty. You can hear Simone McInnes in the background. Austin steadies. She probably was wondering how close are we to that power 5. Well, we're in it right now. look at it. You get the feeling that pressure that they've been building will start to pay off as Williams is injected into the game.
Goal defense, contact. Come back.
Walters to Austin. Garrett hits the floor. Garvin finds some space.
In the 2 point.
Handy rebound, flicks it straight back out to Austin. The Vixens struggling to convert. Garvin finds some space, protected by Austin.
Third time lucky, right at the front.
Sophie Garvin nails her first Suncorp super shot.
Oh, was that closing speed by Weston, just running nice and hard onto that first ball.
Thunderbirds up by 2. Cross to Maloney. They look up. Garvin finds herself in the space. Look at that white arc. Garvin on her own. 2 from 2. Sophie Garvin looks unfazed. The crowd delighted. And scores are even here at John Cain Arena. Eddie looks once, has to go back to Weston. The defensive pressure is building from the Thunderbirds.
The Vixens really owning the power 5. They shot 6 out of 12, but we haven't even seen the Thunderbirds nail one yet.
Strong ball. Garvin goes across court. Walters has the pocket, but it's dangerous because Wilson is lurking.
You got to keep moving and you got to get to the top. It might be tiring, but it's the work off the ball to create an option.
Brilliant play from the Jamaican superstar. The athleticism of the Thunderbirds defenders. You cannot be in front position and expect it's going to fall in your hands. Mannix. Game management from the umpires. Just advancing the pass. And the Vixens want to get away quickly. Scores are even. Sterling Humphrey, where did she come from?
A bounce pass on the floor. She scooped it up. It's the timing. The second you find yourself standing, and Garvin was obviously there a little bit too early. The second you find yourself standing, she's got to come straight through. You got to keep her busy. So stay closer to post, come out wide, keep that movement going. Don't allow her that time and space to be able to read the play.
We hear coaches say it. We talk about it a lot in commentary. The preliminary moves is something that is such a basic skill, but it doesn't matter what level, they're needed and they're so useful.
And it's the first thing that goes when you start to tire, because you go, you know what, I'll stop, I'll hold, or try and have a sprinting race. It's the basics done well, consistently and under pressure.
Williams using all of her time. Finally, Aitken George has it. Attempts the rebound, but the Vixens get the throw in. Lucy Austin in the coach's box. She's almost calling to Aitken George to have a look. I need to come on.
Weston wound up. It went wayward to the side.
Williams to Sherian. Back to Garrett. Back to Wilson. One-on-one pressure from the Vixens, and it pays off for them. Relentless they were in defence.
It's just a sea of blue when any Thunderbird player looked down court.
Williams has hit the deck. Taylor Williams has hit the deck.
But the queen of intercepts comes up with it again.
It's hard to keep track, to be honest. Sterling Humphrey, 4 intercepts to her name. Surely it's more than that. 15 seconds on the clock. The Thunderbirds up by 2. A complete reverse of what we saw at halftime. Austin fires it up. She nails it. What a brilliant quarter we have just seen. The Thunderbirds out by 2 sorry, the Thunderbirds, it's even now. Tomorrow night, right here on Fox Netball. Don't forget, we've got some incredible games coming up. Courtney Bruce heads back to Western Australia for the first time to face off against her old club, the West Coast Fever. Standing there waiting will be her former teammate, now fierce opposition, Janelle Fowler-Nemard. Cannot wait for that. Get ready for some spice in that clash. And of course, the Melbourne Mavericks head to Sydney to face New South Wales Swifts. All the action will be right here on Fox Netball. Scores are even right here at John Cain Arena.
Welcome back to John Cain Arena, where I've just been listening in to the Vixens huddle, and they have been very happy with their defensive end, but they're calling for more fight. They want them to get up high and keep that pulley system of Mannix and Weston working to get on top of the Thunderbirds. Mads, what have you been hearing?
Well, the pulley system is going to be happening in full flight with the Thunderbirds as well, but they're going to be the first of the pickups. They want to be close on the scraps. We saw Kathy Fellows talking to her charges in defence, saying, more in transition. I don't want you to obviously get caught on one side. Keep providing those options. Give the attack a little bit of a chop out. She also spoke to Sterling Humphries and said, in the 1 point, let's try and turn the hips of the shooters. So watch that first 10 minutes. She goes, I know they're really doing well in the 2, but let's try and, put them off guard in the 1 point. So expect maybe a bit of timing and a few rejections here in this last final quarter.
Well, that's three-quarter time brought to you by Origin Energy. And now, the crowd, they're getting excited because we have the final quarter here for you, live and exclusive right here on Fox Netball. Simone McInnes, the coach of the Melbourne Vixens, eagerly awaits what's about to happen. Petty steps in, ready for the centre pass. Scores are even. There's been not much in it. The first quarter, the Vixens won by 3. The Thunderbirds won the second by 1, won the third by 2. We have a game on our hands, Maddie. Porges. Oh, Aitken George was hoping that was going to roll in. Instead, pops it down for Horges. I mean, that would have looked sensational had she sunk that one.
Contact centre.
Walters, strong, steady.
Step forward.
Austin waits for the jump, comes up short.
Well, there's one to the Thunderbirds. Kathy Fellows will be happy with that.
Austin shooting at 80% in regular time.
Wing defence at the edge. Wing defence, step up.
Wilson out for obstruction. Austin really waiting to that final second to release the ball.
Drawing that penalty in.
Garrett, cross to Wilson. Down to Sherian. Horges looking to really try and move the ball on quickly. Delaying tactics from the Vixens working well.
The Vixens really sinking back onto that double defence like that, but a great feed by Sherian to Aitken George. At times, Horges knowing when to come out as that third feeder, but also when to drive in and try and pull those defenders off. Just snuck in that one.
I don't know if you are like us watching at home, but Maddie and I are just tensely watching those balls creep over the ring. Garvin across to Maloney. In the Vixens' new style, one swings, one goes base. Much more confident from Kira Austin. Again, scores are even. I don't want to preempt anything, but we will play extra time if it is a draw at the final whistle.
But you're really interested to see what you think about this Vixens defence, because I've noticed how much they're sinking off now. Romelda Aiken's having trouble posting up. Why would they be doing that?
Well, it's because Weston and Mannix are similar height, so you don't have a mismatch at all. you can hedge your bets a little bit. You can go out and attempt something or pretend you're going for something, and then the other one can sink back who's got the front of Romelda.
Very much like a New Zealand defence. You make it seem like it's open, let that ball come in, but then fly for it and come across and try and cut it off.
Just the whole thing is about creating doubt.
Thunderbirds.
Gorgeous. Quick to play to Sherian. Back to Garrett. Austin
Stole that one.
possession call. And what a possession it was for Austin. That's what we've known so much about Austin's game.
Harvey Norman replay. He must have seen it something different. He was so close to the action.
Already 2 intercepts for Kira Austin. Not bad considering, you know, this is her 15th goal as well. 5 Suncorp super shots. Walters quick to Garvin. Garvin's got the whole circle.
Tries to go the 1-2.
They weren't quick enough to get it back, but Austin in the exact same position fires off another one. Huge ball from Sherian. Keeps Aitken George up high. Horges. Straight to the hands of Aitken George. Shooting at 93%, Romelda Aitken George. A handy pickup for the Thunderbirds in the off-season. Eddie to Weston. Back to Mannix. You're really seeing both teams having to do a mountain of work in attack.
And it's sometimes, you know, when you get caught on the sideline, you've got to swing it back and work like T's and L's. So you try and swing it through the middle channel over to the other sideline to go down and look deep. But it's really hard when the second you turn, all you're seeing is the opposition colours going, where's the space, where's my option? Great drive by Maloney up the middle, though. You've got to go up the guts to try and draw them apart, or at least get their heads turning.
Watch the captain of the Vixens as she's directing play quite calmly too for Kate Maloney. You're not seeing or hearing her voice as loud. As I just talk her up and Sterling Humphrey smothers the feed.
Last see this here, timing once again, whether it's on the feed or on the shot. She's all over it, Shamira Sterling Humphrey.
Austin, cross to Walters.
I was going to say, in these last 9 minutes, I'd love to see Sophie Garvin come a little bit more into play. She had 46 attempts last week. She's only sitting at 19. So getting a little bit more involved, taking a little bit more of the workload off. So then Austin can really come into play in that 2-point.
And look at that, the 2 Vixen shooters, both sitting on 16 goals in regular time. Really sharing that shooting load, whereas Aitken George on 26, Horges on 13.
That was just that fly you were talking about, Mads. They confused the space back there, put the ball in and comes through Mannix.
Horges.
And it's the work of the people out the front, that quick hands over, trying to use a bit of a windscreen wiper, forcing them wide to the sideline.
That's why there's such a tussle on the centre pass as well. You need your attackers down to create some extra pressure, extra bodies to try and get in the way for you, to cause that vision to be blocked somehow. Austin, quick 1-2, and another one. Vixens now out by 2. Just over 8 minutes in this final quarter. Sherian flicks it across. Lands in the hands of Petty. Back to Aitken George, really working it around the circle.
Great sweep by Horges just to draw that separation of the defenders.
Such a pivotal player for the Adelaide Thunderbirds. This is her 4th season, Georgie Horges. She said in pre-season she's really starting to like wing attack more than goal attack. And now look where she's back.
just waiting for one team to really just take this game on right now. It's just kind of going back and forth, and you're like, who is going to just grab it and go with it?
Austin, she balks once. Straight over the hands of Sterling Humphrey.
Guys, we've got Taylor Williams just about to come on in wing defence. Don't be surprised if we see a move there. Then Wilson, I expect, would come into goal defence.
The one-on-one contest between Aiken George and Mannix. Keep your eye on that. Here comes Taylor Williams.
Contact, wing defence, centre third. Centre third.
I mean, Austin obviously just getting a little bit into the game a bit more just to try and change things up there. I mean, we've all been probably waiting for this, a bit of a Jamaica versus Australia circle down that end.
Austin, Garvin. They're just taking their time, the Vixen shooters. Shamira Sterling Humphrey leading the way with the Nissan net points. Powered by E-Power, 96 for Shamira.
Once again, Maloney, the only Vixen in the mix there.
An impressive performance from Maloney against the Mavericks in round one. Just the absolute workhorse in the middle as we see Latanya Wilson into that goal defence position. The Jamaicans, the Sunshine Girls, up against the Diamonds. Austin. Over the top of Wilson. They pick the shortest defender in the circle to go over the top.
You still got some hops though. That pass has to get up nice and high.
Gorgeous. Across to Sheridan. Drives again. Keeping Joe Weston on her toes with that speed.
Much better time to bring on Lucy Austin as well. Let her get her eye in as we, broach obviously the power five.
Maloney goes to the base where she finds Garvin. Walters was balking in all sorts of directions. Eventually gets it to Garvin, but Sterling Humphrey had other ideas. You give her time to look at it and she's going to steal it off you. Petty from the pocket to the pocket rocket. Look at that from Georgie Horges.
Dominating the goal assists, contributing on the scoreboard. She's having an absolute stellar game out there.
What a tussle this is. Scores are even. 50 goals apiece. We are in the power five.
Interesting to continue to go for the one because you don't want to give an opportunity for a rebound, but do you also want to put on some 2 points to put the pressure on the Vixens to have to obviously chase?
The tactics, they're the best part of the game. Walters, she's been steady. Great take from Sophie Garvin. What a strength she is at shooter for the Vixens.
They're just not happy with the shot. Are they working to try and get that one? They continue to find themselves in the arc for the 2 point.
Each goal taking 20, 30 seconds to come from a centre pass. Gorgeous to Petty. Mannix a little late on the contest. There's not much you can do when you've already leapt in the air. Have a look at this Harvey Norman replay. She timed it so well, but Petty just too deep. They make sure she's okay.
Eyes were on the ball, but the hand wasn't close enough.
Okay, it's the Thunderbirds out by one. Just over 3 minutes. You can hear the crowd starting to get involved now. They know this is going to be a close one. Weston. Maloney and Walters playing it around, trying to find it safely in the hands of their shooters. Sophie Garvin comes up short.
Well played there by Sterling Humphrey. She balked, she went to go, she boxed out straight away.
Petty balances on the side. Austin trips up. It's a Thunderbirds throw-in. 7 from 14 super shots for the Vixens. Gorgeous. Cross to Sherian.
Centre obstruction, send the third.
The Vixens really forcing the Thunderbirds as close to the sideline as they can get them. Austin, great hold.
He got caught on Weston's body there, couldn't come off it, and the pass was just a little bit too far away. It's that miscommunication sometimes. You're going for the 2, Vita thinks you're in the position for the 1.
That's such a huge amount of space, but the doubt was created from the defenders. Mannix, Weston, Thunderbirds up by 1. Garvin goes across.
Do you go the 1? Do you go the 2?
They're pushing boundaries with their time. Here we go. Austin. 6 Suncorp super shot for Kira Austin. Brilliant performance. Another deflection to her name. She wants this win. The Vixens by 1.
No super shots for the Thunderbirds yet. Who's got the guts to take it on?
Sherian to Austin. Austin just thinks, do I take it, do I not?
Goes for the 1.
1's enough right now. Scores are even. The crowd standing on their feet here at John Cain Arena. Maloney across to Weston. Here we go.
45 seconds to just freeze the ball and hold it around is a long time. Joe Weston very slow to go pick the ball up on the sideline though.
Cross to Eddie. The Vixens, they go deep. Waiting, trying to penetrate forward.
Simone McInnes is playing every single ball on the sideline.
It's hard not to. A contact call. Walters with the penalty. Straight to Austin. Breaks through the shackles of the defenders. The Vixens by 1. Sherian plays on so quick.
She was so close, Austin, there. But that is a scenario the Vixens would have played over and over at training, and didn't they own that clutch moment?
2 very close games for the Adelaide Thunderbirds, but the Melbourne Vixens, what a brilliant performance. 1 goal victors in the end. They won the first quarter, the Vixens. They won the last quarter, but that game had everything.
Oh, it was back and forth. There was lots of different lead changes, momentum shift, defensive efforts were outstanding from both teams at different times, but it really came down to that last 50 seconds and who was actually going to hold it or who was going to take it on. And as we said, it was quite interesting to see how both teams in that last 5 go for the 1 or put up the 2. It did, it added absolute everything to it.
We talk about the Melbourne Vixens owning John Cain Arena, especially up against the Adelaide Thunderbirds. The last 4 seasons, the Vixens have been able to win every time they've faced the Thunderbirds right here on this court. You can see the elation in the Vixens. It is round 2, but this game would mean a lot.
Oh, I mean, you can look at, what games are coming up, but it's not like any other sport. Every single game counts, and we've seen teams miss out on finals by the smallest of margins, so every game counts.
Let's get across to Emily B.
I'm with a player of the match, Kate Maloney. Kate, you guys had us on the edge of the seat. Tell us what it means to get a 1-point win over the reigning premiers.
Yeah, it's massive for us. We've worked on that sort of stuff a lot, like playing it around at the end. We knew they were going to keep coming at us. I thought we were sort of the team that was in front, and then Thunderbirds would come back, and we just had to stay in it, and I'm really proud of the girls for that.
Talk to me about your mid-court teammate, Zara Walters. Her second game, she looks like she's been in this league for years.
I'm so proud of her. Simone puts a lot of faith in our young girls, and with Hannah out, it means Zara has to step up. And she did an amazing job last week, and she's done amazing again today. And to have Joe Weston come back in and bring a bit more leadership to that defence end, hopefully we get Hannah back next week. But yeah, really proud of Zara's.
You personally, amazing game. You topped the Nissan net points for your side. You were absolutely everywhere, not just with your play, but the leadership that you show. Can you tell us a bit about what goes through your mind and that motivation that you have?
I don't really know what goes through my mind, to be honest. I think at the end there it was just keep running. But, you know, with a player like Zara coming in and, you know, we've got a lot of new girls and it's just trying to communicate with them, stay connected with each other the whole game. And I think our defence end's getting better and better each week. And, yeah, really proud of those girls as well.
Well, congrats on the win. Enjoy it.
Thank you.
The Melbourne Vixens, 1-goal victors here at John Cain Arena. This game had absolutely everything. We can't wait to talk more about it. We have our post-game show coming up and we'll be talking to the head coach of the Melbourne Vixens.